These are the 2 new augments added to upgraders in the latest update. Let's talk about the best places to find them, the best key rooms for them, the best loot routes, and also what their special features are. First up is the Tactical Mark III Revival. It says, a tactical augment focused on utility over defense and looting. It restores 1 health every 5 seconds, and when damage is taken, the effect is paused for 30 seconds. I tested this in-game. That is certainly true. But it also has one feature that isn't really talked about here, and I think some information is missing from the text. When you put it on, you will find that it actually gives you an integrated defibrillator. This works exactly like a normal defibrillator, but it's on a 240-second cooldown. Sure, you can always just bring your own defibs anyway, but it's nice that it saves you 1 quick use slot. Speaking of which, this augment gives you 5 quick use slots and 2 safe pocket slots. In comparison to other augments, it's kind of middle of the line here. A couple of the options out there have 3 safe pockets, like the Healing and the Survivor. The Survivor, obviously being the best, has 5 quick uses and 3 safe pockets and 20 main storage slots. This one only has 16, so it's really limited on space. Not only that, it only has a light shield compatibility, which is really just quite a bad deal. It's quite strange when you consider the other ones can have medium and even heavy in the case of the defensive. I don't see a case where I'd ever really want to run this one, especially considering the max loadout weight is only 65. Next, we move on to the Safekeeper. Now, this is something that I would consider using in a couple niche situations, and we'll talk about that in a little minute. Firstly, it has 2 trinket slots, just like a normal looting augment, and it only has 1 safe pocket slot. But the special thing about this, you can put anything in there, including weapons, which is pretty interesting. I can see myself using this in a queen event if I want to kill the queen or break off the armor with, say, an equalizer, but I don't want to be ratted out of my equalizer. Then I can just stick it in my safe pocket and then go about my day shooting the queen core with something cheaper once I've kind of lost the attention of nearby players. It's quite a nice way to safeguard some of your higher value weapons. And let's say you want to take in a bobcat, but you're not quite sure if you want to really go in with a full attachment until you're ready to shoot someone, and you don't want to get shot in the back. You can just keep it in your safe pocket until you're ready to go. So it's a good PvP option as well. Or what if you take down a player and they've got a Venator 4 with a bunch of attachments on? You could stick that in your safe pocket too. It's definitely designed for killing the big arc or maybe taking out players in PvP. What's interesting about this is the first looting augment to have light, medium, and heavy shield compatibility. The only downside is it's only got 1 safe pocket and only 4 quick use slots. And the utility is limited because you've only got trinket slots here, which is kind of inconvenient. I don't think many people will be using this to go and do loot runs with. It would be best if these augmented slots were like grenade or med slots, for example. Even on the Survivor, it makes more sense. You've got a utility slot where you could put a deadline or a zipline. I think it's a very niche one that's going to be useful in some situations. It's nice that it does have 18 main storage points, but it doesn't quite beat out the Survivor. And in terms of pure looting potential, the Tactical Mark III Defensive is still better because it has 20 storage slots and 5 quick use slots and 1 safe slot, whereas the Safekeeper only has 18. Yeah, you know, you got those 2 extra trinkets, but overall you're going to get less loot out with this thing. So unless you really want to safeguard your equalizer and you're worried about losing it, then I definitely think the Survivor is still the top tier augment, and the Defensive is the best if you want to run heavy shields. Either way, it's nice to see there's a bit more flexibility now, and I'm sure some players out there will have some cool plans on how they're going to use this. Now, speaking of using it, how can you get your hands on this? Well, just like all of the other augments, you will need to find the blueprints for it. Yes, there are now 77 blueprints in the game to find. 3 of them are still missing from the game, but 2 of those now are the Revival blueprint and the Safekeeper blueprint. These are going to spawn in the typical augment loot spawns. Yes, that does mean Stella Montis lobby area. It means Blue Gate reinforced reception. And it also means all medical containers in the entire game. I've made a video talking about this before. There are some really great places to loot across all of the map. You don't have to only focus on Stella Montis and Blue Gate. Let me just show you some really quickly. We've got all of Hospital for a bunch of medical containers. There's also a bunch of medical containers in space travel and research. If we go to Spaceport, There are some medical containers in Departure Building and a couple in Launch Towers, although not that many. In Down Battlegrounds, you have a lot of medical containers in Testing Annex and Research and Administration, and a couple of more thrown around the map. If you're just going for other activities and you come through any of these areas, then there's a good chance you might get lucky and get an Augment Blueprint. Also, fun fact, since the Cold Snap update, Augment Blueprints can drop randomly from almost any container. I'm not sure on the specifics. I still need to do some testing for myself, but I've been finding Augment Blueprints in industrial style containers. So if you are tired of trying to fight other people for these augments, just go and play the game normally and you might get lucky. I think the drop rates from industrial style containers is probably quite low, but it is now possible. Quite interesting. I want to add that it took me about 7 hours of doing nothing but just looting augment containers over and over to find the 2 new blueprints. And there's a bit of a problem. Because these 2 blueprints are added to the same loot pool as the other augment blueprints, your chance of getting any one of these specific ones is now lower because they're all competing for the same loot pool. So if you're unlucky, like I was, I ended up getting about 6 survivor blueprints that I dropped in front of this door. I gave away so many blueprints today because it just took so long to find that one blueprint that I needed. And you might have the same experience, or you might get really lucky. So if you're going to commit to the grind, just be aware of how RNG works. And if you've already got all the other blueprints, you might be looking for a long time. Now, there could be a way to speed up finding these blueprints. Key rooms. There are some good key rooms to talk about. Firstly, the number 1 best key room has to be inside here. The lobby checkpoint security key here will give you so many augment containers. It's really, really good. Archives on Sandbox has some medical containers, so you could get an augment box in here, in the archives key. And then if we go to Blue Gate, the confiscation key underneath Security Wing does have a couple augment containers. You could get it there. If we go to Buried City, Hospital has a bunch of medical containers. You could get the augment blueprint there. On Dam Battlegrounds, you might be able to have some luck in Testing Annex as well. I do believe there's some medical containers in there. There's 2 different rooms, and those are probably the best keys to kind of hold on to if you want to get your hands on these augments. Another shout out to the Raiders Refuge and Ancient Fort Errors. If you're near there and you decide you want to open them for fun anyway, there is a chance to get the augment blueprints in there. There's security boxes in here and there's medical boxes in here. Now, I think the fastest way, if you just want to try your luck, is to go on Stella Montis and speedrun the augment containers. There's some in Lobby, there's some in Business Center, and that is some in medical research. And the great thing about Stella Montis, no matter where you spawn, you can run to those containers in a very short time. A lot of people don't know the shortcuts on Stella, so I'm going to jump in and just do a few quick runs to show you the routes that you should take based on where you spawn in. And you can see which shortcuts you need to take. I'll do a few spawns here just to show you the routes that we would take to get to those augments. So let's see where we spawned. Okay, so we got a atrium spawn. So what we want to go, if we get this atrium spawn, we want to run along here, alongside cafeteria. We're going to come along through this route here, open this door, and then there will be options. There'll be another spawn here as well. So you could end up spawning here instead. And you want to come up through this ladder. And directly on your right will be the first room where you find the augment boxes. Now, if there's many players nearby, what I'll do is I'll open this. If it's got more than 3 items, I will check it. Because then it's more likely to have... that's a terrible key. It's more likely to have a blueprint in. If it's only 3 items, it probably doesn't have a blueprint, right? If it's more than 3, in these augment containers, only these augment containers, okay? This is really important. Then there's a good chance that there is a blueprint there. So if there's many players in the area, I will just open the container first and then open the next container and then check the container after I've opened the other ones, because most people don't open already open containers. So if you see 3 items, you can just skip it, open the next container. So there's one more here, by the way. Just show that. I'm sure that guy downstairs has looted all of them. It's got 2 items, so there's no blueprint there. Definitely no blueprint. There's 2 items, definitely not. So I'm now racing this guy. This is what I'm talking about. You got to speed run these spots because people are literally racing after it. That has already been looted. This, like, everyone wants to try and get it, right? So what I would do now is I would just quit. There's no more good containers. There's some down here. I'll just show you the spawns if you don't know about them. For those curious. 2 containers there, 2 there, and then you've also got 1 there, and then 2 there. If you got the time, check the trash cans. You might get lucky and find the key to this room. This room is really good. Right, let me show you another speedrun route. So now we know where the augment boxes are. I'm just going to show you the speedrun routes to get to those areas, right? Because at the end of the day, people are going to loot it quick. So if you spawn here, you're on the lobby metro station. What I actually find is better to do is run along this side of the tunnel and turn here. You'll see a zip line. Now, bear in mind, everyone else is running for these spots. They're all trying to race to find augment blueprints. Everyone knows where the spawns are now. Me making this video doesn't change anything. I'm just giving you all a bit of a better chance to get in the room. Because as you can see, some people spawn right there and they'll be ahead of me. Right? So all we can do is try and get in there and loot a couple containers. What's going to happen is these guys are going to be ahead of me. Oh, they missed these 2 boxes here. So we're going to check this. It has 3 items. Okay, we'll check this one. Okay, 3 as well. So you can see, very unlikely to have a blueprint, but I'll check it for you here. We just opened the box to kind of reserve it as our spot here. This guy's there, so he's got that one. And it's 4 items. Oh, there we go, blueprint. Oh. Okay, that's crazy. I'm going to drop them there on the door. Just pay respects to the man that I stole a blueprint from earlier. There'll be a whole video about that soon. I'm sorry. I will pay for my sins. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, you come up here. Anyway, you see what I mean? We got an augment blueprint, but it's not the one we wanted because there's so many blueprints in that loot pool. All right, let's do another run. Okay, we've got another spawn. This is the Western Tunnel spawn. So we want to open this door here. This one you're going to be spawning quite far away, but we could probably still make it work. We're going to open this door, and then there's going to be a zip line here that's going to take us to the top of cargo dock, right? And then we are going to be able to come into Atrium. So this one is quite a long way away from the rest of the spawns, but we can still try and speed our way there if you are really trying to go for these, right? And you're coming to Stella Montis and you want to try your luck for the blueprints before you go and do whatever else you're doing in Stella, then you can come through here. Bear in mind that people can spawn in front of me, like that guy there. He's just spawned in, look. He's only... He might have killed somebody. He's only just spawned in and figured out what he's doing, and we've just ran past him to the container room, right? So... just by following that route there, we are now back here. Okay, 3 items, okay, and 3 items. So you can see there's a very unlikely chance of being a blueprint. But we'll just double check on the off chance. Maybe it is. And then you would just do the same route again, right? Right, we've got a medical spawn. This is great. I can show you the route we can take here. So basically, you'll just jump down onto the bottom platform here. You may also spawn... let me just show you the other spawn. You may spawn in this hole here. And then you'll just need to come through. And then go through this door. So those are the 2 medical spawns. And in this room, which we couldn't show you on the other runs, are more medical containers. Right? Once again, we open it. Oh, 3 items. Okay, let's quickly check the other ones before other players come. Okay, 3 items. Now we can double check that all of the items are a blueprint or not. Like I say, very unlikely with these augment containers to have a blueprint in 3 items, but not impossible. But we do that just to, like, open first before another player races in and opens it before us. Because it is... we're basically speedrunning, racing against all of the other players looting, right? Because it's got to the point where most people know where the best spots are, right? So now what we're doing is we're running towards the other container spawns. There's a chance here that other people haven't quite gotten to the spawns, or we might be able to at least open 1 container or 2, so we may as well try our chance. What I usually do is just jump down here and just take the full damage. Like, it is what it is, I don't mind. And then if you just walk up to here and then jump right on this part there, then you'll be able to get up. Right, you just have to get it right on that little metal bracket. And then we can come up through here. Lo and behold, this is the lobby room. So we can just walk along here now. And we'll be in the same exact spot. And we could loot through all of the containers. It looks like someone's been ahead of me. It's not really a surprise. People would have spawned in front of me, right? Oh, that one hasn't been looted. Oh, wait. Has it? It looks like he wants to kill me. Well, let's just check. Okay. Well, yeah, you get the point. That's the run you would take. Right, one more spawn. If you spawn facing the zip line, turn around. You are in Seed Vault right now. So what you want to do is run out through this door and turn down this way. So these are one of the... I think we've covered most of the common spawns. There'll be another one where you're spawned next to Business Center. And I mean, in that case, then you literally just... run across to the Business Center room. But you come up through that zip line, and then once again, you're in the same spot, and you can loot these containers. Let's see. Okay, 3 items, so we'll just skip that, so we can, some other guy might come along and check it before we can get to it. Okay, we go like that. And then I just want to show you one little route that I like to take sometimes. You could either breach this door here. Looks like someone's already gone ahead. So what I can do is just go down here. Sometimes there aren't shredders here, so you really do have a chance to just try and skip through these containers before other people get there. But as you can see, I haven't posted my video yet. I had to mute the game audio because someone's playing some very interesting music. 4 items, okay. I've got to check that one. Trailblazer. Okay. And there's another one here. 3 items. So we'll just come back to that in a second. 3. Okay. And then pay our respects to the man that I stole a blueprint from. I'm sorry. And those are the best sort of loot routes for most of Stella Montis. Hopefully this video helped. And let me know what you think about the new Augment blueprints. See you all in the comments. Cheerio.